Mr. Sullivan, thank you for the testimony and for the dedicated work of your Office of Inspector General within the EPA. I would like to thank you especially for the work of the OIG in cooperation with this committee to shed light on the misconduct at the EPA and efforts to bring about accountability and reform within that agency. We recognize your progress while still acknowledging there are still many ongoing challenges within the agency's personnel and management. We know that long-term reform and improvements to personnel management requires more than just new procedures and updates to manuals. It requires active support from leadership top to bottom to foster a culture of integrity, accountability, and best practices. Would you agree, Mr. Sullivan?
Yes, sir, I do.
Now, Mr. Myberg, you're currently serving in one of the top leadership posts at the EPA, right?
Yes, sir, that's right.
And it seems from our discussion today you're pretty astute about the law, right?
I am not a lawyer and would not make that claim.
No, but you've been very articulate about the banter from both sides in regards to this claim or that claim. You're pretty articulate about that, right?
Thank you. That's not for me to judge.
Well, I mean, Mr. Heiss actually engaged on you because you were the administrator that actually made the decision on that case, so you're pretty familiar with, personnel management, right?
Yes, over the course of my career, I had a number of conduct and discipline cases come before me as the deciding official.
Now, could you please briefly describe and summarize your job description today?
My job description is I am the agency's chief operating officer, and I perform such duties as are assigned to me by the administrator.
Now, let's go through that. You're serving as the active EPA deputy administrator, and you should understand the law, right?
I'm, again, serving in...
No, but you should understand the law. I mean, you're predicating this based on understanding the law, and all those underneath you should be following you. So you've also been nominated by the President to serve as the EPA Deputy Administrator. Under the Federal Vacancies Reform Act and recent case law, do you realize you cannot serve in an acting capacity for an office that you've been nominated for?
Congressman, I am aware of the legal case that you're referring to and have been assured by counsel that my service is lawful.
Whoa. Moreover, do you realize that in such a situation your actions have no force or effect under the law? And what I'm actually talking to you about is you're the CEO. You're applying these laws. So they basically go away. I'd like to have the name of the counsel that gave you that information because it's in total violation of federal statute and law. Will you provide that to the committee for?
Yes, we'll be happy to do that.
Have you ever discussed with anyone at the EPA that the fact that under the Federal Vacancies Reform Act, you cannot serve as the acting deputy director after you've been nominated to serve in the same office? Are you concerned that your actions can and will be challenged given that they have no force or effect under the law?
Congressman, I have been in consultation with our counsel and been assured that the actions
I'd like to have all names of individuals that gave you that because that's contradictory to federal law. Do you believe that you should step down as the acting EPA Deputy Administrator given that the law says that your actions have no force or effect?
Again, Congressman, I've been consulted with counsel and that all of my actions...
I want all individuals that gave you that consultation's name and titles. Your actions in the defiance of the law by your agency and this administration baffles me. Moreover, it does not surprise me. The EPA under this President has a long history of blatant disregard for the law and disrespect for the oversight authority of Congress. Your boss, EPA Administrator Gina McCarthy, committed perjury and made several false statements at multiple congressional hearings trying to defend the fact-defying waters of the United States regulations. On numerous occasions, Administrator McCarthy not only broke the law by lying to Congress, but in doing so, she also lied to the American people in order to force misguided and overreaching regulations that have no scientific basis down our throats. Perjury before Congress is perjury to the American people and an affront to the core principles of our republic and the rule of law. You actually sitting here impersonating the CEO, being offered to that office by the President is affront to that as well. That is why I've introduced articles of impeachment to remove Administrator McCarthy from office. But before you get too excited, Mr. Myberg, thinking that you may get another astronomical promotion in McCarthy's place, I think you should step down as well. You cannot serve as the acting official when you are nominated to fill that post permanently. It's against the law. It's plain and simple. The personnel management within the EPA is a mess. But that is no surprise when the agency's top officials are willful lawbreakers themselves. You create that culture, and that's why you were set up accordingly. And that's why it's going to be really nice for me, because we have figured a way to make sure that those impeachment proceedings go to the floor and make somebody atone for their actions. It's actually a mess, and it's sad that we have to bring this, particularly when you should know the rules better. And that goes along with the council. So I will expect those names of all those council and their titles immediately to this committee for review. I thank you, and I'm disgusted. I now recognize the gentlewoman from